Okay, yeah, so you guys don't get scared ever?
You're gonna be okay. So sorry.
Welcome to Screen Recaps, and today we are going to be recapping the movie Love and Monsters. An asteroid known as Agatha 616 is hurtling towards Earth, prompting all nations to collaborate in launching a barrage of rockets at it. The asteroid is successfully neutralized, but this results in chemical compounds cascading down to Earth, leading to mutations in animals, causing them to grow in size and become aggressive. Within just a year, Earth witnesses a devastating loss of 95% of its population, forcing the remaining survivors to seek refuge in bunkers, caves, and panic rooms. 7 years later, Joel finds himself still residing in a bunker where he is the sole occupant without a romantic partner, surrounded by the sounds of intimacy from others. Not being adept at combat, he opts out of joining the group on their ventures to the surface for supplies, instead assisting with domestic tasks such as cooking and tending to their cow, all the while maintaining a diary and sketching the monsters he encounters as a survival aid. With ammunition depleted years prior, the group now relies on weapons like axes and crossbows. During a training session with a crossbow, the bunker suddenly loses power, revealing that monsters have breached their defenses. Some members venture into the tunnels to confront them, while the rest monitor the situation on the sensor system. Observing the group encountering difficulties, Joel grabs a crossbow and ventures out to assist. As he navigates the area, he encounters a monster that has just finished attacking one of his comrades. Paralyzed with fear, Joel stands frozen as the creature advances towards him, only to be swiftly dispatched by his companions. A flashback transports Joel to a time before the cataclysm, where he and his girlfriend Amy shared moments of intimacy interrupted by the alarm signaling the impending disaster. Back in the present, Joel utilizes a radio to communicate with other bunkers and maintain contact with Amy. As he reminisces about the letters he wrote for her, their connection is abruptly severed when his radio malfunctions, prompting another flashback of Joel bidding farewell to Amy and exchanging declarations of love as they each depart with their families. In the present, Joel asks the others about Amy's colony and learns it's 85 miles away. It would take 7 days to reach it, and it's considered impossible to survive out there for that long. Ignoring his friend's warnings, Joel decides to stop hiding and sets out to find Amy. As he explores the outside, Joel encounters remnants of the old city scattered around, now overrun with plants and monsters. After a few hours of walking, he hears a monster nearby and hides inside a house. When he opens the fridge, another monster roars at him, forcing him to flee into the garden. Unfortunately, a giant mutated frog emerges from the pond and attacks Joel with its long tongue. He dodges just in time and, in his shock, falls next to a dog who begins barking at the frog bravely. Joel tries to use the distraction to escape, but the frog's tongue captures his leg, making him fall. As the frog starts dragging Joel towards its mouth, the dog bites the tongue and frees him. Joel starts running away and follows the dog into a bus, where the dog cleverly closes the door with a rope, indicating it was trained. As the frog searches for them elsewhere, Joel realizes the dog used to hide here with its owner, who likely passed away. The dog's name is Boy, and he keeps his owner's clothes close because he misses them. Joel spends the night on the bus, and in the morning, Boy decides to join him. He even brings some of his owner's clothing, which Joel puts in his bag for safekeeping. As they travel through destroyed cities and overgrown forests, Boy and Joel enjoy each other's company and sometimes play, though Boy doesn't know how to catch. However, he does know how to stop Joel from eating poisonous berries. After wandering around for a while, Joel accidentally falls into a hole in the ground, realizing from the bones under his feet that it's a monster nest. Hearing creatures in the tunnels, he dodges an attack just in time but feels unsure about his ability to fight. Fortunately, a rope suddenly falls into the hole thrown by Clyde and Minnow. They pull him out just as the worms emerge, and when a monster leaps out of the hole, they kill it with a katana. They toss a grenade into the hole to eliminate the remaining creatures. Afterwards, the four of them begin traveling together. Minnow teaches Joel how to handle the crossbow, and she and Clyde provide him with survival tips. They reveal their destination is the mountains, where it's too cold for monsters to inhabit. Their journey is momentarily halted when they encounter a colossal snail monster. Clyde takes Joel's shirt and conceals it in the snail's shell. This snail, being peaceful, will carry Joel's scent along its route, potentially diverting monsters away from their group. Clyde and Minnow inform Joel that a monster's disposition can often be discerned through its eyes. When they make camp for the night, Clyde imparts some insights about the creature for Joel to document in his journal. Over the following days, the group continues their journey together, and Joel's proficiency with the crossbow improves. He also gains further knowledge about monsters and survival, diligently recording everything in his journal. Eventually, they reach a point where they must part ways to pursue their respective destinations. Clyde bids Joel farewell by gifting him a grenade. Joel and Boy continue their journey, eventually arriving at a swamp that Boy refuses to traverse. As Boy seeks refuge under a duck-shaped playground structure, Joel hears a noise and is suddenly confronted by a massive centipede monster emerging from the ground. Joel readies his crossbow, but the centipede knocks him aside. The creature then encircles the duck, with Boy still inside, triggering Joel's memories of the tragic day. Recalling his parents' demise in a car accident, Joel resolves not to lose any more loved ones and finally takes aim with the crossbow, dispatching the centipede with a well-aimed arrow to the head. Later, as rain begins to fall, Joel and Boy find shelter in an abandoned building where they encounter a robot named Mavis. With only 51 minutes of power remaining, Mavis uses her GPS to show Joel that he's just 10 miles away from Amy's colony. Robots were a recent innovation before the monster attack, so Joel has never interacted with one until now. Mavis uses her radio to help Joel get in touch with Amy, who is doing well. She explains that some survivors have shown up and will rescue the entire colony. But before she can say more, the communication ends because Mavis's battery is about to die. With her last minutes of energy, Mavis accesses her social media database and shows Joel some pictures and videos of his family. Crying, Joel hugs Mavis, and together they watch the glowing jellyfish flying by. When Mavis finally shuts down, a grateful Joel gives her a proper burial. The next day, Joel and Boy continue their journey and almost fall into a huge pit. Boy runs away as Joel sees a queen sand gobbler emerging from underground. He throws a toy to distract it and starts running with Boy, only for the queen to chase after them. After a lot of running through the woods, Joel trips on a stick and falls down a hill near a river, causing the clothing of Boy's owner to fall into the water. Joel rushes to hide with Boy behind a hollow trunk, and the queen comes incredibly close, but they wait in silence until it goes away. At that moment, Boy sees the clothing in the water and jumps in to retrieve it, which gets the attention of the monster. Joel grabs the grenade from his bag and throws it into the queen's mouth before jumping into the water too. The monster explodes, and nobody gets hurt. Afterward, Joel reaches the shore, only to discover his body is covered with leeches. He pulls them all off before he starts yelling at Boy, blaming him for the queen's attack and causing Boy to run away. Joel tries to keep going alone, but soon the leech's poison starts making him hallucinate. He sees a plant that Clyde taught him was an anti-venom and eats it before he starts seeing a bunch of people approaching. It turns out it isn't a hallucination. It's Amy and her fellow survivors who were brought by Boy. Excited, Joel kisses Amy before passing out. Sometime later, Joel wakes in Amy's bunker. He's already feeling better, but he also learns that he actually kissed a random survivor instead of Amy. She explains her colony was found by a yacht captain and his crew who have promised to take the survivors to a safer place. Everyone is busy packing up and getting ready to go, so Amy can't spend too much time with him. Then Joel takes a look around the bunker, learning about this colony's habits and noticing their proximity to a beach. He also meets the people from the yacht, Dana, Rocco, and Captain Brooks. Later, when Joel finally gets a private moment with Amy, he's devastated to hear she moved on some time ago because she thought she would never see Joel again. Amy had started dating another survivor who sadly died last year. Afterward, Joel tries to contact his colony to no avail. When he looks at the map they gave him, he's shocked to find support messages that he didn't see before, and he realizes he left a beloved family for nothing. At that moment, the radio finally contacts his colony, and everyone is proud of Joel for surviving. They also share that there have been multiple breaches, but before they can say more, the communication ends. Joel decides he must go back to his family and ignore the yacht idea. On his way out, he discovers that the plate of food they gave him has poisonous berries in it, meaning the crew is hiding something. He immediately runs to warn Amy, who is getting drunk with the other survivors, thanks to Brooks and his homemade beer. Before Joel can say something, Dana knocks him out. The next morning, Joel wakes up to discover he's been tied to a barrel with Amy and all the survivors were captured while they were drunk. After Dana blows up the radio tower, Brooks reveals that he and his crew robbed supplies from different colonies and moved the yacht by making a monster crab pull it. Brooks controls this monster through electric manipulation. At that moment, the crab comes out and everyone runs to hide. Amy takes the lid from the barrel and uses it to free herself and Joel. Then she runs toward Rocco, who opens fire on her. She deflects the bullets with the lid and tackles him, causing them both to fall unconscious. Meanwhile, Joel finds a trident and runs to stab the crab, causing it to trip and fall on its back. However, it's still alive, and an electric pulse from Brooks causes it to knock Joel down. At that moment, Amy recovers and starts fighting Dana, landing a few hits but unfortunately getting overpowered due to Dana's greater experience. Soon, the crab also recovers and starts destroying the colony. Boy comes out to bark at the monster and Dana tries to shoot him, but Amy hits her arm, causing her to hit the crab instead. Using the element of surprise, Amy manages to overpower Dana, but Brooks intervenes, knocking her down before ordering his crew to get to the boat. As the crab continues its destructive rampage, Boyd dodges its attacks and reaches Amy, licking her face to wake her up. Brooks keeps electrocuting the crab to make it angrier, and the monster roars at Joel, who notices its weak spot in its mouth before being captured. Amy soon comes over with the weapon Dana dropped and hands it to Joel, who is about to kill the crab but then looks into its eyes and discovers it's actually a kind creature being controlled by an actual monster. Joel shoots the chain instead, freeing the crab, which immediately releases Joel and jumps into the water. In just a few seconds, it reaches the yacht and eats Dana, Rocco, and Brooks, destroying the yacht in the process. Moments later, once everyone is safe, Joel says goodbye to Amy by sharing a hug and giving her his journal so she can also learn about the monsters. Even if they didn't get together, he's grateful for the journey because it made him a better man. Before he leaves, they share one last kiss. For the next 7 days, Joel and Boy travel together and survive thanks to all their new experience. Eventually, they make it to Joel's colony, where they're welcomed with open arms. Afterward, Joel sends a message through the radio to all the other bunkers, teaching them how to survive out there, and inviting them to go to the mountains where the cold will keep monsters away. Then Joel, Boy, and his fellow survivors leave together to reunite with Clyde and Minnow, and soon other colonies are doing the same, eager to start a new life.
I thought I was